Parker Rehm coming from Hughes Stadium with the D2 champs, Central Catholic. It's the matchup everyone's been waiting for, and for good reason. This could be the passing of the torch in Northern California football. Some people are against the proposed changes, proposing that the ceremonies be held outside on football fields like this here at Battle High School, but CPS says it's just not possible at this time. That game got postponed to December, and Kentucky, they got moved up. The Tigers were slated to play the Battle Line rivalry this Saturday in Columbia against Arkansas, but due to positive COVID cases within the Razorback program, that's not happening anymore either. Actually, it turns out that instead, we're going to need these papers back. 3 stoplights are all that separate these 2 high schools, but they've never played a football game. Isn't that just crazy? It's rivalry week, and you know both of these teams are fired up. I saw something on social media I got to show you guys. It's St. Mary's talking some smack before the game. It's a world that revolves around basketball. Both Hayden Moreno and his younger brother Connor play on the varsity Lodi basketball team, with the youngest Moreno member possibly next in line.
He grew up in the basketball court, literally, took his first steps in a basketball court, watching his older brothers at practice, and it's just become such an important part.
But much like the superheroes he idolizes, AJ carved his own path.
Truly, he's the one that leads by example, his perseverance, his strength. So we watch him, and we all go as he goes.
Because not everyone is meant to make a difference. But for AJ, the choice to lead an ordinary life was no longer an option.
Just right then and there, I kind of broke down.
Life really just pivoted for us at that moment.
On October 29th, 2021, AJ was transported to the emergency room.
When they came out, they said, why don't one of you wait in the waiting room with AJ and we'll take you back one at a time. And that was really kind of a moment when I'm like, something is really off.
That intuition sadly proved to be true when the Morenos learned that the doctors found a cancerous tumor known as Wilms tumor on AJ's kidney.
And you hear that C word, and I couldn't catch my breath.
Yeah, a bit of a fire drill. It hits you quick. You really don't have time to kind of process things and wrap your mind around it. So I think a lot of us try to sympathize with those who have dealt with cancer, lived with cancer. In the mountain that those people faced, I never appreciated enough. Every emotion of you wants to come out and smash. I think of the Hulk.
But that's not what superheroes do, because you hope for the best and make do with what you get.
Good job. On Friday, 2 days after surgery, he said he couldn't get out of bed yet. And he said, what do I need to do to get home? Tell me what I have to do. And so we made a list for him, and he said, can I do that all today?
Show this to your brothers. You're walking around.
The thought of seeing his brothers again helped AJ through the pain.
They're just like home, the best medicine for AJ.
Practicing on his Nerf hoop to be ready to play with his brothers at home. After returning home, the Morenos signaled for help. For the Lodi community, it served as a symbol of hope. But for the Moreno family, this simple message holds super significance.
It means that's like a superhero name.
It means that AJ's going all the way. We're not stopping short of anything. We're not in this for just a little bit. We're going all the way to the finish line. Like, AJ's going to beat this. AJ's going to go all the way.
That Kryptonian or Lodinian symbol of hope spread throughout the community.
That took off like wildfire. And again, the community just...
It's hard to put into words because of how amazing the community is, how they've stepped up. It just shows how much AJ impacts their lives.
Because it's not who AJ is underneath the shirt. It's what he does that defines him. And he's done a lot. AJ All the Way has raised money and even partnered with Lodi basketball during their Go for the Goal night to raise money toward pediatric cancer research.
It makes it a lot easier on the whole situation because I got my brothers. I know my brothers have my back, and I say brothers as in the kids on my team. I find all of them as brothers to me.
to know that AJ is just part of something good like that, out of something that was so terrible, it just gives us a lot of hope.
Sounds like a superhero to me. What do you think makes a superhero a superhero?
You have to go through all of your chemo and stuff.
Whether it's going through chemo, shooting some hoops, or watching a community unite through basketball, it's clear that AJ has a great power to inspire.
He's supposed to be learning from me. I've learned just so many different things from him.
Because with great power comes great responsibility.
I have to do a lot of things before I get my superpower.
That, I'm sure, is well on AJ's way. Reporting in Lodi, Parker Rehm, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
Parker Rehm joins us with the story of the St. Mary's basketball player making a world of a difference.
Almost quite literally. Roy Iskovich dreams of playing basketball professionally. It's a goal that may seem out of reach for most, but for Roy, no amount of distance will get in the way of that dream. At the start of Roy's story, he learned that sometimes being looked at as different in the U.S. can have a different meaning than back home.
They told me it's gonna be super hard, everyone's gonna hate you, you don't know the language.
But for Roy, embracing that story and accepting that he chose a different path continues to pave the road to his success.
I chose a different path, which not a lot of people do, so it's a decision that you have to make, and you gotta have sacrifices.
At the age of 15, Roy learned of an opportunity to leave his home of Israel to pursue a dream of playing basketball professionally and develop his game in the United States.
We just talked about, like, look, there's this opportunity, do you wanna do this? And I said yes. First, I said 100%, I said yes, I agree with him.
With his dad by his side.
My dad was there more towards basketball because he saw that I took it seriously.
But for this journey, he learned he wouldn't have any of his family with him.
The first year was really hard for me, really, really hard.
Ask him, how the hell did you do it? How did you have the strength to push yourself and go and play in another country, in another atmosphere, another everything? You know, it's a lot of strength, another toughness of your side to do it.
For Roy's mom, Oznat, the decision was even more difficult.
I'm her, I'm not her baby anymore, but you know, I'm her youngest son. So she wants me, she wants to be next to me, she wants to be there for me like every other child is.
But Roy's goal to play basketball professionally required that sacrifice. 3 years ago, Roy arrived in the United States and met coach Chris Curtis, who took Roy in as one of his own.
I've never had children, even though I've been coaching. I thought it was a great opportunity, and a great opportunity for the kids to want to come here, you know, to better themselves, and so that's where it all started.
At first, Roy says it wasn't easy.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just like sadness that you're just with your family, but now you're not. And like you're by yourself, but you're not actually by yourself.
Welcoming a new family into his life, Chris assumed the role of the American dad for the first time. It's an experience he says changed his life.
I got my health together. I lost 300 pounds. I changed my life. I mean, it's had a huge impact, the opportunity for them, but this is something they wanted to do. But for me, it really changed my life.
Chris accomplished that weight loss goal and was then able to better help Roy achieve his. However, he says Roy did all the work.
There's a lot more talented players out there, but you're not going to outwork Roy. You're just not going to. That's what he does.
That work ethic became the difference from failing to succeeding in his journey. It's a trait Roy says his family back home taught to him.
We're not gifted, we just work hard. And that's how I was able to get to where I'm at today.
Roy now has an opportunity to finish his high school career and move on to the next chapter in his unique story.
I would think it would just be weird to think about it, how it went so fast.
And his family 7,000 miles away couldn't be more proud.
We are proud parents, and our goal our purpose in life is try to get try to achieve our children's dreams.
It's a dream that required sacrifice and a dream that required Roy to be different.
When you come from the U.S. playing basketball at a high school and in college, after that part, they look at you differently.
That's why in Roy's case, it pays to be different. Roy is still figuring out where he wants to play his collegiate ball, but he says he's excited for what's next.
And that could be anywhere in the world.
Could be anywhere in the world. I guess we'll just have to see.